everyone, and welcome to the Dollar Store Decor Dash. Today we're sharing inspiration on how to create beautiful home decor pieces with items from dollar stores around the world, and we hope you find each project as fantastic as it is affordable. At the top of the description box below, you're going to find the link to the next person in the lineup, and I hope you take the time to watch all of our videos. And you can always use hashtag #DollarDecorDash to find all of the videos in this hop in one place. Now let's head on over to my craft table and get started.
So for my project today, I'm going to be using this clipboard I got at Michael's, and actually they have it on michaels.com for 99 cents, or you can buy them in a 12 pack for $8 and something. It works out to be 72 cents each, and you can't beat that. So I actually have that sitting in my shopping cart ready to go because I want more of these. And so it comes with, well, let me try to get this off and I'll show you what it comes with. It comes with a little peg for on the back if you're making something that you want to stand up. But I'm not going to be doing that. So what I am going to be doing is removing this little clip part to start with, and then I'm going to stain this. So let me get something to remove this. Well, this was one of those moments that I wished my hubby was home, but I was able to get it off just using these, and a lot of working up and down with this because basically it is a rivet, and so it couldn't pull straight through. I had to get the top off, and then the bottom comes out the back. So a lot of work, but I did it, and here we go. Now I am ready to start staining, and this isn't going to show when I'm done with my project. Okay, I'm all set up and ready to stain, and I'm going to be using this. It's called Kona. It's a really nice dark coffee color. Got my brush, got some paper towels here. We're going to get this thing opened and get started. And there's a lot of different ways to stain. This is just one of them, but it's the way that I'm going to be doing this today. So I'm just going to be painting it on and then wiping it off. Another option, if you don't have stain, is to mix brown paint and water together, and that actually makes a really nice stain as well, and is a lot less expensive than buying a can of stain if you plan on only using it for one project. While the stain is drying, I'm going to move on to the next part of my project, and I'm going to be using one of the bowls that I got from the Dollar Tree that come in a 3-pack, and they're plastic, and I am going to be cutting it in half. And so I've used a piece of tape to mark the halfway point, and I'm going to be using my Clover mini iron that happens to come with a cutting blade. So it's going to be a hot blade, and I'm going to use that to cut the bowl in half. But if you don't have something like that, you can just use a regular X-Acto knife or something like that, and it'll work just fine. This is my very first time using this knife attachment. Usually I'm using this as a craft iron, so there's an iron attachment. And also, I don't have a lot of strength, so wish me luck with this. This is definitely an experiment. Oh, there we go. Once I get it through, it just goes. Yay! Of course, I'm not doing it straight, so I'm going to have to get in a different position, probably off camera, but I just wanted you to see what I was doing. Yay! Here's my half a bowl, and I'm just using a sanding block to go around the edges and just kind of smooth things out a little bit the best that I can. And I may have to go back with that knife just a little bit to get rid of some of these edges, do a little touch up. But this is now ready for the next part of my project. So the look I'm going for with this bowl is the vintage enamel bowl look like this. And that is why I chose, white and shiny like this plastic. But I want to put a black edge around it, and I don't have any glossy black paint and, wanting to keep with that enamel look. So I'm going to be using my StazOn ink. It says on the back that it is made especially for plastics as well as other, materials like metals and stuff. So I just thought I would use this and go around the edges. And I'm sure you could use a permanent marker. I actually tried that on another piece, and I don't quite have the control that I want, whereas I seem to have more control with this pad. So I'm just going around the edges until I get it to look the way I want. So what do you think? Looking good, right? So what I'm going to be doing next is gluing this bowl to the wood plaque to create my planter. And before I do that, I have taken one of these foam floral balls from the Dollar Tree and cut it down so that it'll fit inside the bowl. Hang in there, everyone. Change of plans. And I'm sure you've all been there before where you have something you're doing, you have a plan, and realize that's not going to work. So what I realized was it's next to impossible to stick these in these little balls. So what I've decided I'm going to do is we're going to fill the bowl with the moss, and then we are going to stick all the pretty flowers in the moss. And that should work. So let's see what happens. Now it's time to glue the bowl to the wood plaque, and I'm going to be using my Beacon Power Tack. And actually this is the very first time I've used this, but I use, Beacon 3-in-1 and Beacon Fabri-Tac, so I know this is going to be awesome. My sincerest apologies that you missed part of this because I didn't realize I was off camera because I was so focused on, where I was putting the glue and getting everything lined up. But there it is, and it has to sit for 24 hours. And before I do anything else, I should have done this next step before gluing the bowl on, but that's not going to be a problem. So what I'm going to be doing is attaching some twine that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put this on the back as a hanger. And there's a variety of ways to do that. So first of all, because of the bowl, I'm going to flip this over on the edge of my table here, leaving the bowl hanging off the edge. But luckily you can still see the back here. And, some people might want their twine to be long, creating a big loop at the top to hang it with. But I don't like doing mine that way. I like to kind of hide it. And so I'm going to be putting it right across the back like this. And that way it can have the hanger part right there. And so I've cut a piece of twine. I've tied a knot at either end, and I'll show you in a minute why I did that. And I'm going to be using a few things. So I'm going to be using my hot glue gun. Just so that it sticks right away for the sake of the video. But I'm also going to be using some Fabri-Tac. I thought of using the Power Tack again, but I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. And a couple of scrap pieces of faux leather from Cricut. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets, but these are just some scraps that happen to be, check that out, an exact match. How lucky could I possibly get? So I'm just going to hot glue this down, and then I'm going to use the Fabri-Tac to glue that over the top. And this is where I'm going to show you why I have the knot there, because it keeps it sturdy. It won't come through. So the knot is kind of blocking it from sliding underneath that piece of faux leather. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ruler and a white chalk marker, because I know I wouldn't be able to see a pencil mark, and I am going to measure down about 1 inch, just because I want to make sure that I get these in the same place. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 1 inch and a little mark. And that way I know I'm putting them in the same place. And funny that I didn't have that in the right place. Tell you, I am having one of those days. But there we go. Those two lines are the correct ones. And now let me grab my hot glue gun. All right, now let me get my Fabri-Tac here and these little glue pieces, oh my gosh, these little faux leather pieces. And I'm just going to take one of those and put the glue all over the back of this piece. Want it glued really good there. And I'm going to lay it right across there and just push it down really good. Getting glue on that. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing with this piece right here. And press it down really good because you want it to make contact on the wood and on the twine. And there we go. Now I have the little hanger for the back of this, and we can now get back to the front and get that finished. Okay, I'm going to be using this floral moss from the Dollar Tree and some of these flowers and leaves that I cut off from some of those little bundles that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And do you remember the little peg that I said that came with this? Well, I'm going to use that to hold this upright while I'm creating my little floral display. So I'm going to start off by just filling this little bowl with some of this moss, creating a place for me to stick those flowers. So that was easy. That looks really good. Floral arrangements really aren't my thing, so we're going to see how this works out here. And I am just going to start sticking some in here and see what we come up with. So wish me luck and just hang in there and watch. I know nothing about floral arrangements at all, but I do love the way that this came out, and my favorite color is pink, so I've got a lot of pink and white in there, but I like it. And so what I've done next is I've created this little twine bow out of the same twine that I used on the back, and I'm going to be gluing that right up there over that hole. And I also made a little butterfly that's going to go up there too. So let's get started on that. I'm going to be using my Beacon Fabri-Tac and just putting some right here on the back of this twine bow. And going to stick it right there. What's really nice about that is it definitely shows me right where the center is. So as long as I have it right on that spot, we are good. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of straighten my bow out a little bit here. And now I'm going to take that little butterfly and add a little of that Fabri-Tac right to the back of that. And I'm going to put it right there in the center, like so. What do you think? I think it's beautiful. I'm going to show it to you hanging on a wall. And there's plenty of room if you wanted to do some vinyling on here, you know, maybe to put some words or a saying. And you could even distress the wood a little bit, but I really wanted it to be this color just because it's going to match some other stuff of mine. All right, so we're done. Let me take some pictures for you.
As you can see, you can sit this on a shelf or you can hang it on a wall. Either way is beautiful. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed my project, and if you break down the cost of this, it was probably less than $3. And for more beautiful dollar store home decor, be sure to watch everyone else's videos, starting with the next person in the lineup whose link is at the top of my description box. And any other details are also in my description box as well. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.